Breeze Nation, what is good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. I know I'm supposed to be on vacation. Oh, Pat, when you doing content during the week, you're supposed to be relaxing. Y'all know I can't let news drop, and I do a video on it. Because we got breaking news this morning. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. The Chicago Bears have hired 2 new members to the front office. The big one today, Orlando Magic assistant GM Stephen Marvis as senior VP. He spent 12 years with the organization in different draft roles, working his way all the way up to assistant GM. And I think that this is a very good hire. The Magic's biggest issue has not been drafting. The Magic's biggest issue has been getting people in place to develop those draft picks, or even just the right head coach to put you in good situations. I think that they've kind of dealt with some interesting coaches down there, to say the least. And so, like, to me, I look at this as a really good hire, right? Because when you look at the draft aspect of it, you want guys that have different perspectives and different visions, but that can still get the job done. And so, with Bryson Graham handling a lot of the day to day, duties with the Chicago Bulls, where he's the one that's going to be hiring the coach, he's the one that's going to be putting all these different people in place within the organization. You want a strong draft room, and it feels like that's what the Chicago Bulls are really building here. You look at some of the players that Orlando has been able to acquire. I mean, Paolo's a layup, right, because of what he was in college and how big of a player he was coming out, right? But even guys like Jalen Suggs, even guys that you look at, I know it was more Matt Lloyd in that situation, but he's been there 12 years in different various draft roles, so he's a part of this as well, right? The Franz Wagner situation, going out and finding Franz with that Chicago Bulls draft pick there, right? Like, those are guys that you want to have in the room, especially in a year that you have the 4th and the 15th overall pick, because that 15th overall pick could be a player that puts you over the top, could be a player that you look at in a couple of years and you say, yo, this is an answer to X, Y, and Z, because we were able to find this with the 15th overall pick. So the Bulls really, really need to nail this draft. They've also got a couple of second round picks in here. So I love that they're building up the draft room. Let me know how you guys feel down in the comments below on the hire of Stephen Mervis. Do you think that this is going to be a good one for the Bulls? Do you think that this is a guy who can come in and just kind of be that other opinion, right? And I love the fact that he's also been hired here as a senior VP as well. They're kind of going with that OKC format, right? Like, this is where there's the executive senior VP and then there's senior VPs up under him. And Michael Reinsdorf talked about wanting to build this team up in that way, wanting to build this team up in a manner that was very similar to what OKC did, because they're the best that do it. We've seen Boston have this format as well, where there's somebody who's the main guy, but then there's senior VPs up under him. And I think, right, you're bringing in assistant GMs, you're bringing in guys that wanted to be GMs, you're giving them that next level raise, right? I wouldn't be surprised if we see another name put into this as well, because I believe OKC has 3 senior VPs. And then an executive VP that, of course, is Sam Presti, who is the man over there. So I think the format the Bulls are going with is the right one. I like what they're building here. I like that they're building a strong draft room. And the hope is that Bryson Graham can find all the right pieces to put that together. But you have to have that strong room that knows how to identify talent. They also go out and go get Bryson Graham's former teammate at Texas, Acie Law, who also is a former Chicago Bull here. He is going to be the VP of player personnel. Now, he's an interesting one because he has been a director of player personnel in different places, and he's had a ton of different draft roles that I think could be very beneficial to the Chicago Bulls here. But the biggest one is, I just talked about that entire OKC format. He was on that OKC draft staff in various draft roles that, you look at what OKC has been able to do at any point in time, right? Like, we've never talked about OKC being a bad team as far as the draft is concerned. And so, I think you look at Acie Law as another strong voice in that room. Now, he's coming in as a VP of player personnel, right? So somebody who has that strong voice in the draft, but also has been, right, director of scouting and different things like that, that you can put into that player personnel role to try and ease some of these guys into the building and make Chicago the place that they want to be and that they want to come. So I think that there's a lot of those things where you start to look at the staff that Bryson Graham is building out here, and you feel confident that it just feels like, right, and I know it took years for Ryan Poles to get here, but it just feels like, oh, we've got people in the building that know what they're doing. We've got people in the building that know how to make this happen. Now, it doesn't matter unless you get the right results, right? But when I start to, the most important thing right now for the Bulls is not going out there and winning 50 games next year. That'd be great. It'd be phenomenal. The most important thing for this Bulls team right now is winning this draft, getting the right pieces, getting pieces that are going to help you for years to come. You can build a foundation out of this draft. And so if the Bulls are able to do that with this, I think that this is the right staff for that. And from that aspect, I feel like the Bulls are cooking. Let me know how you guys feel down in the comments below. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Make sure you're tapped in with the boys tonight. They are going to go live for the Chicago Bears schedule release, although the entire schedule is pretty much out on all platforms at this point. I think I've seen the schedule in entirety. A lot of primetime games. A lot of primetime games. Your boy going to be busy. But, hey, man, let me know how you guys feel down in the comments below. As always, it's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bear down. Well up. Bear down. See Red Nation, stand up. I'm so not used to giving the Bulls props on anything that I'm stuck in bear down. See Red Nation, stand up. Peace.